Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanta vipaschitaha vedavadarata parta nanyadastiti vadinaha कामात्मान स्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फल प्रदाम क्रिया विशेष बहुलाम भोगैश्वर्य गतिम प्रति. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, result in good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Men of small knowledge. Small knowledge means they don't have, Vedas are so huge and so much of knowledge out there, but they have very limited knowledge. And they are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas. Actually, Vedas superficially say something, deeply the deep meaning is something else. And of course, then there are Karmakanda section of Veda where it talks about fruitive, like, you do this yagna, you do this puja, you will get this result, and all focus towards achieving, elevation to heavenly planet, good birth, power, etc. Like in, Krishna Leela, those Jagik Brahmanas, they think that there is no other, they are actually doing some yagna for achieving heavenly planets. And Krishna Balaram, send the cowherd boys for giving them some food, and they reject, and they don't even respond. Right, so they are just stuck with the flowery words of the Vedas, but they don't understand that the creator of the Vedas, the Lord himself, is coming and asking for some food, and so they should stop everything and they should have given. So people who are just attached to these flowery words without understanding the underlying goal or intention of Vedas, they say that there's nothing more than this. They don't understand anything, so they just think that okay, it's all for sense gratification and opulent life. Of course, see, believers of Vedas never try to improve their current quality of life, current status of life, because they knew that it is all predetermined and it just depends on past karma, and whatever has to happen will happen. So their focus was always next life. Previously, people never used to endeavor for anything about this life. Just complete focus is next life. People in general are not very intelligent, and due to their ignorance, they are most attached to fruitive activities recommended in the Karma Kanda portions. They do not want anything more than sense gratificatory proposals for enjoying life in heaven, where wine and women are available and material opulence is very common. In the Vedas, many sacrifices are recommended for elevation to heavenly planets, such as Jyotishtoma. In fact, it is stated that anyone desiring elevation to heavenly planets must perform these sacrifices, and men with a poor fund of knowledge think that this is the whole purpose of Vedic wisdom. It is very difficult for such inexperienced persons to be situated in the determined action of Krishna consciousness, because they always want some, result, and they're looking for heavenly happiness, this, that, and all that. Such people can't be fixed in Krishna consciousness. As fools are attached to the flowers of poisonous trees without knowing the results of such attractions, unenlightened men are similarly attracted by such heavenly opulence and the sense enjoyment thereof. In the Karmakanda section of the Vedas, it is said, Apama Somam Amrita Abhuma and Akshayam Ha Vai Chaturmasya Yajinaha Sukritam Bhavati. In other words, those who perform the 4-month penances called Chaturmasya, they become eligible to drink Somarasa beverages, to become immortal and happy forever. Of course, in Krishna consciousness, also devotees do Chaturmasya not to gain this, immortality or whatever. They do to please Krishna with their austerities. Even on this earth, some are very eager to have Somarasa to become strong and fit to enjoy sense gratifications. Such persons have no faith in liberation from material bondage, and they are very much attached to the pompous ceremonies of Vedic sacrifices. So many people even know, right? They will do this puja, that puja, they'll do all kinds of things. But if we tell them saying that chant Hare Krishna, do Kirtan, read Bhagavad Gita, come to Bhagavad Gita class, they don't want to do. They just want to do so-called good activity, pious activity, not bhakti. They're generally sensual and they do not want anything other than heavenly pleasures of life. It is understood that there are gardens called Nanda Kanana in which there is good opportunity for association with angelic, beautiful women and having a profuse supply of Somarasa wine. Such bodily happiness is certainly sensual. Therefore, there are those who are purely attached to such material temporary happiness as lords of the material world. Of course, for current time and circumstance, we cannot talk about this heavenly pleasure and all that. People just want to live hellish. They want hellish happiness in this material world. Hellish. Because this happiness is low grade. I mean, heavenly happiness itself is like such high grade. Even though, here Prabhupada is talking about association with angelic, beautiful women and all that. But when we think about this, we can only think about low grade association, like in this material world, right? But in heavenly planets, this association of angelic, beautiful women means they will be performing dance, which is traditional dance, like that, not like cheap, low class enjoyment. And even the somarasa, it's not like the alcohol of this material world, but it just gives that same kind of intoxication. So the happiness there is actually high class happiness. But people are not even interested in that high class happiness. People are interested in low class, sinful way of getting happiness. So actually, in fact, this verse doesn't even apply to the current, generation, except that this part is correct. Sense gratification and opulent life they want, but not in the next life. They are worried only about this life. And actually, Shastras say that is greed. It is sinful. It's greed because we already have some predetermined future. Why are we trying to change it? So it's very sinful. So we should not think in terms of improving my standard of life, getting a better position, because actually it's so foolish. It's already predetermined. See, people out there are ignorant and they don't understand this. But if practicing devotees, we also don't understand this, then for whom is Krishna saying all this? So we should just do stuff as a matter of duty. Okay, seems to be my work. Okay, I'm doing. I will use the outcome in service of Krishna. That's it. But as devotees also, we are so much behind all this material things and stuck. Okay, sometimes people say, okay, I have to buy some house. Okay, but general sense gratification, pleasure, thinking about our happiness, how do I enjoy this sense, that sense, that kind of life we should not live. I mean, that's waste of human life, right? And if we are chanting Hare Krishna, then maintaining all these material desires is actually the 10th offense. Chanting the holy name. It's very important that we get out of that nonsense and fix ourselves in trying to please Guru and Krishna. That should be. Otherwise, we'll also be in the same classification, not very intelligent class. Okay, any thoughts, questions?
Prabhuji, see, if we generally don't bother about this life, means our focus is more on how to get a better life in next lifetime. That's where all these problems coming, right? Like we have been ruled by others and as a country, and we ourselves are not materially in poor condition.
No, Prabhu, that's what Shastra is saying. This is ignorance. Thinking that my action is resulting in something is just ignorance. That is what Shastra is trying to tell us. I mean, because we've been so blinded by our stupid schools and colleges, which have, taught us saying that whatever you do, you reap the benefit here. Yes, whatever you do, you reap the benefit, but not in this life. So what we are experiencing now is because of past life. And why we are experiencing? Because we lived sinfully. We never followed the injunction of Shastra. We never lived a pious life. So we are suffering now. If somebody has to, take advantage of us or rule us or this and that and all that is just karma phala. That's it. And we think that previous karma phala that I have done, I will undo it now, which is absolutely impossible. So it's actually ridiculous because it's not even going to change. Only if it is supposed to change, it will change. In which case, it doesn't really matter whether you work for it or not. It will anyway change. Situation will get created such that it has to change. I mean, see, after we read Bhagavad Gita, after we understand all this, karma phala and all that, we should open up our eyes. If we still don't believe what Shastra is saying, then what is the point in reading all this? What is the point in doing Bhagavad Gita? What is the point in saying I'm a devotee of Krishna? I mean, this is ABCD knowledge. This is previous generation, like people never used to bother. They never used to bother about their current life. They know, okay, I've done some nonsense. Let me now focus. At least I'm repent. Like I was reading in Ishopanishad, Prabhupada says, all our difficulties are to just awaken us to the truth that, we did not serve Krishna in our previous life. So we are suffering. Just to awaken us to this truth. Now, even after coming in touch with truth, if we are not awakening ourselves, if we are still sleeping, then what can we say? So clear. We should not be bothered about this life so much.
It's very difficult to understand, bro. But
why is it difficult to understand? Right? No, but why is it? See, for outsiders, it's difficult to understand because they don't understand all this. For them, there's nothing like afterlife and what is this karma phala. Everything is in my hands. What I do is what I reap. I mean, this is all atheistic, materialistic propaganda. They have no understanding about Shastra. Why should we not accept this? Why would there be any doubt in our minds on this? So clearly mentioned. See, till we accept, that is why if we don't come to the platform of knowledge, so there are only two ways to make progress, right? One is somebody who is like really unintelligent, right? And they simply accept authority. Of course, they will be fortunate if they accept the right authority, then they achieve perfection in life. Which is why Krishna is saying, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purukam dadami buddhi yogam tam. Even if that person is not intelligent. But satata yuktanam, if he is always engaged in my service, I will give him the intelligence so that he can come to me. So it is actually good if we actually, Ishopanishad talks about it, right? People who are ignorant, it is okay. People who are half knowledgeable is the worst. So-called knowledge, people who have developed so-called knowledge, they are the worst because they think they know something. But actually what they know is misdirecting. So it's better if we are ignorant and simply accept what path somebody is saying without trying to use our intelligence. When we have this half-baked so-called knowledge, Ishopanishad says that it is worse. It is worse than being ignorant because it will just distract us and we will, thinking that we have some intelligence, we will just get stuck in this material world. And the problem is not logic. Logic is very simple to understand. The problem is our willingness to accept. Problem is thinking the thought that I am not in control is freaking us out. We still, after hearing all this, saying that, we are servants of Krishna, Krishna is in control, we still want to try and control our lives and see if we can change it. This basically just shows that we don't have faith in Shastra. It's a matter of acceptance. It's not a matter of logic, actually. There is no logic here. It's clear. It's clearly stated in the Shastra. We have to simply accept it. But our so-called intelligence is coming in the way of accepting a simple truth, saying that this life is based on karma phala. It's a simple truth. ABCD. How does rebirth happen? How does happiness, distress come? It's just because of our previous life. Of course, we might have some, like 5% chances of, some change, etc. But that will, like I said, that's also built into our actions. It will be built into our actions. But we don't have to bother so much about it. We have to just be focused on where am I heading? As a devotee of Krishna, am I heading at Krishna's lotus feet, or am I going to come back to this material world again? That has to be the single consideration. That is why Krishna is saying Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Be fixed. Be fixed. I have only one goal. You have 150 goals, then your intelligence will be multi-branched and you can't achieve anything meaningfully. There's no question of logic. It's just a matter of acceptance. And let's be very honest, right? The more time we take to accept this, the more slow our progress in Krishna consciousness will be. Simple. Okay, so please think about not logic. Think about how I can accept and move forward in life. And not, be stuck in, these are all misconceptions from before coming to Krishna consciousness, and they can't remain. They remain, that means that we have not heard. If those misconceptions continue in us, that means that we've really not heard the message clearly.
Yes, bro.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody has any practical challenges? I mean, theoretically, we should accept this and not make sense gratification and becoming opulent the goal of our life, because it's not going to change. It's whatever it is already predetermined. So our focus needs to be really on future life, which means for us bhakti, because we are not interested in heavenly planets. And Ekeha Kurunandana, focus all energies on this. And of course, I mean, we have to do our duty. As much as we need to focus on that, we need to focus. But it cannot be the sole reason for our existence or the core reason for our existence. It is just there. And we do it to whatever extent required. So we should understand, see the goal, the path from Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. And this is another big misconception in ISKCON. People think that it is okay to be working all our life. Absolutely, it is not okay. Okay, so first is Vikarma, which is outside the whole Vedic platform. From Vikarma, one has to come to Karma. So currently in Kali Yuga, everybody is in Vikarma stage. Now first we have to come to Karma. Then we have to come to Karma Yoga. Then we have to come to Nishkama Karma Yoga. Then we have to come to Bhakti Yoga. We have to do Kevala Bhakti. Not Karma Mishra Bhakti, Gnana Mishra Bhakti. Or Bhakti Mishra Karma, Bhakti Mishra Gnana. No, Kevala Bhakti. Kevala Bhakti means no karma. Only Navavida Bhakti. And we have to work towards it. It doesn't have to happen today, tomorrow. But that is the whole reason about that Vanaprastha, right? Focus on coming to Vanaprastha when you will not have any other duty. And of course, like I keep saying, I keep repeating, Mataji's Tri Dharma, right? Which means that you have the freedom to become fully Krishna consciousness today, if you choose to. Unless you want to work and get stuck in all this things that are really not your duty, and in some sense you are not following Krishna's instructions. Actually, Krishna says that one should not do somebody else's duty. When we talk about karma, we'll come to those verses. So if you're working, then you're doing somebody else's karma. It is not your karma, which is actually sinful. And of course, then you also don't get an opportunity to make tangible spiritual progress, because you are stuck with taking care of your own self, your family, your children, your profession, etc., etc. Now it becomes bahushakaya anantascha, too many things to manage. So obviously, bhakti will take a backseat. Right? See, this we should understand. This is so precious. Hardly people get their hands onto bhakti. We are all so fortunate, however, somehow we are come in touch with Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON. We should not waste our life. This is my humble request. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, You continue your work externally. People should think like you're a normal person. Internally, always keep meditating on Krishna. So externally, we can be normal or whatever. It's okay if you're not also, but internally we should understand my only goal is to achieve Krishna, nothing else. And that is the only way to achieve perfection. Everything is also is okay. And you might think like how many people actually talk about these things in ISKCON today? Why these things are not preached? Because people are worried, saying that, if we preach like this, newcomers will not come. Newcomers will be worried. Oh, what is this? They're saying no focus on work, career, wealth, in sense gratification. How can I live? So I'm not going to come. So even for existing devotees, these messages are not coming. At least for existing devotees, this message should come. But then how can you separate out existing devotees, new devotees, and preach differently? That's not going to happen either. So at the expense of getting new people into Krishna consciousness, existing people are not getting the required correct message. The message is clear. There is no, see, if somebody reads Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, they can't be, determining, they can't be reaching some other conclusion. It's not possible unless they just want to misinterpret Prabhupada is written. Pretty clear message. Make bhakti the single goal of your life. Why? Because we are not that we are crazy and we want to go crazy, and no, because this is what Shastra is all about. Vedeshcha sarver ahameva vedyo. Krishna is saying, I am the one who needs to be known. I am the one who needs to be pleased. Why are you wasting your life doing other things? Okay, so please meditate on these two verses. I will post the lecture again. I myself spent so much of time on these two verses, meditating, what should we do? How can I serve? It's very important. So please meditate, because how much ever anybody else says, it's of no use. The impetus has to come from within a person. So please meditate on these thoughts. This is very important, because why we are doing this study session? Only if you are serious in bhakti, serious in making progress. Otherwise, there are so many other avenues where you can hear some nice stories and just relax in life without all this pressure of, having to take some important decisions in life, etc. You don't have to do that. You can just live casually, right? But that's not the idea of this study session. The idea of study session is to understand Prabhupada as he is given, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Okay, so I'll end there unless anybody has any other comments. Otherwise, I'll post the lecture. Please hear it again if you want to. The idea is to commit to Krishna and Guru. Okay, any thoughts? Anybody? Okay, no thoughts. Then we end today's session. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I shall disconnect.